What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, Season 6, Episode 19, 500 Days of Bummer. Y'all, I am so sick and tired of 90 Day Fiance. I am trying to wean myself off of this show because it has taken such a left turn in all of their franchises that I just. I'm seriously losing interest in this show. It's just about gimmicks. It's just about fake drama. It's just about um, everybody is just here for a come up. People are not even together in real relationships. Everything is so fake and phony and forced. And I don't know how I'm going to do it because I've been watching this show since the inception of it. And I have seen practically, I'm pretty sure I've seen every single episode of every single season of every single franchise. And I'm trying to wean myself off of it, and it's going to begin with The Last Resort Season 2. I will not be partaking in that foolishness. Absolutely not. And it makes me angry whenever I see the promos for Season 2 Last Resort because I'm like, who are y'all fooling? Why do y'all think that y'all could be fooling the people? None of those people are in real relationships except for maybe possibly Julia and Brandon. Okay, and that's a very strong maybe to me. Every other couple there, Darcy and her dude, Sophie and Rob, Jasmine and Gino, all those other couples to me are not real couples. Jasmine and Gino are, they're not real couples. None of them are. And I'm just not going to be doing it. So hopefully, because I'm going to stay away from Last Resort, I'll have the courage to slowly wean myself off of the other franchises because it's just it's just dumb. It's so dumb and stupid. Especially when for example, James and Meitalia. So they're going through this heavy drama of whether or not to move to the United States or stay in Indonesia. Meitalia is crying in every single damn scene. The girl is crying. And then you go look on their social media and they're happily together living in Indonesia. So, like, why do they allow the cast to show in real time what's going on with their lives when on the show they're making it seem so dramatic and so mysterious and so, oh my god, what are they going to do? Are they going to stay in Indonesia? Are they going to go back to America? What's going to happen? Please stay tuned. But then all you got to do is click on their social media and you know exactly what they did. I don't understand how that works in helping the ratings for the show when they allow them to show, I think, in real time what's actually going on with their lives. And I think what I saw on their TikTok is them in real time living in Indonesia, unless it's old videos that they're just now releasing that they got permission to release now. And these are just videos of them living in Indonesia a year ago or whenever they were filming in Indonesia. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Let's just get into it. Okay, James and Meitalia. So it's the day after the wedding. They go out for tea, the two of them, and they talk about how beautiful the wedding was. James brings up going back to the United States. He brings that up again. And he tells her that they cannot afford to live there because the wedding took a lot out of their savings. So now he's blaming it on the wedding. At first, he blamed it on the fact that he can't make enough selling banana chips. So they should go back to the United States. Now he's saying that their savings are depleted because they had to pay for this grand wedding. He tries to tell her, he tries to convince her to go back to the United States by telling her that it's not going to be permanent, it's going to be temporary. I'm just going to go there just to work for my parents real quick. I'm going to have to beg my parents to work for their company again. And so I can make money, so I can build up our finances again. And he says we're going to go back, we're going to regroup, we're going to learn from our mistakes, all the things that we did wrong on this trip. We're going to learn from that, and then we're going to come back again. We're going to come back to Indonesia. And she tells him that life in the US was really hard for her because she was always alone, because he was always working. She said that, you would take the car and I can't go anywhere while you're at work. I'm stuck in the house all day by myself. And, it was driving her crazy. No interaction with anybody, nothing to do, nowhere to go. And she said that she can't live like that anymore. And so she wants to know, how is he going to make it different? Of course, he didn't have an answer to that. So then after that, we see Meitalia. She's with her sisters. One of them is Angel. And she tells them that James wants to go back to the United States. And they were really crushed by that, if we're going to believe that this was real, if this was a real scene. Her sisters were really crushed once they heard that James wants to take Meitalia back to the United States. Um, Angel had like a real gut wrenching cry. I mean, the way she cried, it was like coming from like the deepest part of her soul. She was so upset about Meitalia possibly moving back to America. So the other sister was really confused because she was like, I thought James had said that he wanted y'all to live in Indonesia so that he can get to know your family better. And now you're telling us that he wants to go back to the United States. Like, what does he really want to do? And I'm thinking to myself, this is just how James is. James is very manipulative, and he is like a prime example of a gaslighter. He tells her, yes, let's go live in Indonesia. Let's move to Indonesia. It's going to be great for you. It's going to be great for us, so on and so forth. He acts like he's really enthusiastic about it. He gets there. He doesn't like it. I'm not sure if he changed his mind after arriving in Indonesia or before he even left America. He had no intentions of staying in Indonesia. But whatever the situation is now, he doesn't want to stay there. He wants to go back. And he thinks that he's giving her logical reasons of why they should be going back, but it's not logical. It's illogical, because you told your wife that you wanted to live here, that you were okay with living in Indonesia, that you understood why y'all had to move to Indonesia, and now you're switching the script on her, talking about how we're not going to be able to survive. I can't take care of you. I can't provide. I can make money better in America, which you knew that from the beginning, and you knew that your savings account was going to at some point be depleted because you're not putting money back in it. So like, you knew that was going to happen. So so he agrees with you in the beginning, then he changes his mind. Then when you're like, wait a minute, this wasn't our agreement was to stay here, he gaslights you to make you feel silly and stupid for wanting to stay in a country where y'all cannot sustain yourselves. And then he wants you to go along with the complete opposite of what he initially told you he was going to do. So he's like a master manipulator. And the good thing is, I can tell that Meitalia is like slowly but surely learning. She's beginning to pick up on his ways, and she's beginning to be able to counterattack a little bit better. Later on, James and Meitalia are talking, and she tells them that she talked to her sisters, and she told her sisters that, James wants to go back to America. And he didn't like that. And he questioned her, like, why would you tell your sisters that? Because now they're going to look at me like a person who cannot provide for his wife. They're going to see me as being broke and busted, and I can't take care of my wife. And then he starts to fake cry to really ring in the manipulation. He starts to fake cry, and he's like, it's just going to make me feel, so bad that your family's going to look at me like I can't take care of you. And he asked her, why would you even, tell your sisters that? And she says, well, I needed somebody to talk to. And then he tells her, well, you should have been talking to me about it, not your sisters. This was a personal, private conversation that we were having. Why would you tell your sisters? You should have come to me. And I'm thinking, she did come to you. Y'all did talk about this. Y'all talked about this several times. And y'all are just not seeing eye to eye. Y'all are not agreeing. She says she wants to stay. You say you want to go back. And that's where the conversation ends. So she has talked to you about this. So then she wants to know, if we go back to America and you're saying that it's temporary, what is temporary to you? How long or do we have to be there? He can't give an answer to that. So then she says, well, if we're going to have to go back to America, I want you to sponsor my sister Angel for her to get a visa to come visit us in America. Then he gets upset with that as well. And I'm like, she's trying to compromise. She's saying, I'll go back, but I don't want to be left alone from sun up to sundown by myself. At some point, I would like some of my family members to come and visit me, specifically Angel, and I want you to help that. It's like she's giving up, leaving her family, leaving her home country to go back to America when the agreement was to live in Indonesia, but she's allowing you to change her mind, to completely flip the script on her. So she's like, okay, I'll go back to America with you, but I need to have my sister with me. So I want you to sponsor her so she can come visit me, not live, but visit. So he still doesn't like, so like, you want to your way 100%, no compromise, no meeting in the middle, no nothing. Your wife is telling you that she goes stir crazy. And some people are like this. It's a real thing. If they're stuck in the house all day with nothing to do, with no human interaction, it's difficult for them. It's hard. It affects them mentally. So he's like, no, he's like, I don't understand why all of a sudden we have to cater to other people's needs. We have to make what other people want a priority over our marriage. She's not making her sister a priority over the marriage. She's letting you know that I'm willing to go back to America, but you're going to have to give a little. And the little that I'm asking you to give is to help my sister come to America so she can come visit me, because she says it's going to be hard for her to be away from her family. So all the things that he's going through with living in Indonesia, she's going through, similar things living in America. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. James, I think you're in the wrong. And Meitalia, if this is even real, any of this stuff, if it's real, because I have to question every little thing. If this is even real, Meitalia, your husband is a gaslighter and he's a master manipulator. So you're gonna be like mentally exhausted dealing with this man. It's like, if you want anything for yourself, if you don't want to always have to cater to him and have things go his way, this man is he's going to make you do like mental Olympics. And you're going to be mentally exhausted dealing with him, because he's going to act like, oh, yeah, we'll do it this way. Y'all do it that way. Then it's like, oh, no, that wasn't the plan. We're going to have to do it this other way. And you're like, wait a minute, that wasn't the agreement. Then he's going to, y'all, look, Meitalia, if you like it, we love it. Moving on to Shekinah and Sarper. So it's 2 months after her rhinoplasty. And she tells us that she loves her new nose. And of course, because to us it's new, it looks kind of odd, because for me, it looked like it really didn't fit her face. I felt like it was too small and too narrow for her face and the rest of her facial features. But, she just didn't want a big nose. She wanted a very small, um, I don't know, very small, pointy Western European type of nose. And that's what she got. And I just feel like it doesn't fit her face, but maybe it just takes us getting used to it. So she tells us, as she's putting on makeup and getting ready for something, but we don't know exactly what, she tells us that Sarper's K9 visa was approved. And so, to break the news to him, she got all dolled up in this black cat suit that had more holes in it than Swiss cheese. We saw more skin than material. And the boobs were out, the sides were out. I mean, it was just very revealing, but that's how, Shekinah is. That's what Sarper likes. So, plus she had on a collar. And I don't know if any of y'all read dark romances, but when someone wears a collar, we know the what's up. But maybe it was just part of her ensemble. So Sarper comes home. He sees her in this, holy black suit. I mean, cat suit. And of course, his eyes pop out of his head. He tells her that she looks epic. And she says that, she's been living in sweatpants ever since she got her rhinoplasty done. So she just wanted to get really dolled up and look really sexy and beautiful for him. Okay, fine. So then she tells him that the K1 visa was approved. And he acts like he's happy, or he acts like he's trying to act like he's happy. But we all know Sarper and Shekinah want to come to the United States. I don't believe this whole thing about Sarper struggling with letting Shekinah know that he really doesn't want to move to America, that he wants to stay in Turkey. I don't believe that for a hot second. Sarper seems like an opportunist. He might not be an opportunist with Shekinah, but he's an opportunist for opportunities. And I think he really wants to come to America. So him acting like he really wasn't that crazy about the K1 visa being approved, just fake conflict. So he changes now into something. Okay. I can't really describe what he changed into. I just didn't understand. He had like uh yeah, y'all, whatever. So he changed into thing. And then he does a strip tease for her. So just this, impromptu, random, middle of the afternoon strip tease. It was so cringy. It was so scary looking. I don't understand what the hell he was doing. He acted like an animal that was out on the prowl. Not even like sexy man strip tease dancing kind of stuff. It was just him pretending to be some type of of an animal or a cat or something, and he's on the prowl looking for his prey. I don't know what was going on, but it was very cringy to watch. So I realized that Sarper always wears contact lenses, the colored contacts, to make his brown eyes look blue or gray or something. And then I saw that Shekinah also had on contact lenses. Sarper, okay, after all of that craziness, the next scene that we have is Sarper at a men's clothing store, and he has his cousin there with them. I think her name is Fasoon, and he's looking for a suit, and he tells his cousin that he plans on proposing to Shekinah, but he wants to propose to Shekinah to convince her to stay in Turkey. See, that doesn't make any sense. Because if you want to stay in Turkey, why did you allow Shekinah to apply for the K1 visa? Because it's not like you just fill out a one-page form and then you send it off. It's a process to apply and to get approved for the K1 visa. There was a lot of documentation that he also had to provide as part of the application process, probably birth certificates and income information and whatever the hell else. So it's a long process. It's a lot of paperwork. So that's why people get lawyers to do it for them. I don't know if they have lawyers to do it for them or not. I don't know. Maybe they did. But you don't sit back and watch the process of someone applying for the K1 visa. And then once it's approved, you're like, oh yeah, we're not going to go through with going to America. We're just going to stay here in Turkey. And I'm going to propose to her to convince her to stay here. The proposal is a way to convince her to stay in Turkey. After y'all went through this arduous process of applying for the K1 visa? Like, what are you talking about, Sarper? It doesn't make any sense. And this is what I'm talking about. The fakeness, the acting, the fake storylines. We've been on to this for many years, and we're just tired of it now. So that didn't make any sense to me. I don't have anything else to say about Sarper and Shekinah except that it's so fake and phony. Moving on to Dempsey and Statler. So they take a train ride, just to have a little bit of fun. And on the train ride, Statler chooses this moment to talk about how Dempsey is not pulling her weight. Statler feels like because she's the one that's working and bringing in the income, that she's doing a whole lot more and that she's sacrificing a whole lot more than Dempsey is. And that Dempsey is just here for the ride. She's just here having a good time, that she really has no responsibilities. And she's really resentful of that. And so Dempsey tries to defend herself and say, but I do a lot. You think that I don't, but I do. I do the cooking and the cleaning. And if you need something, I get it, blah, 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 blah. So, um, then they talk about how their personalities are really different. Dempsey says that she's more laid back. She's got this very laissez-faire type of way of dealing with life. No stress. Let's just chill, peace and love and happiness. Let's just not get worked up over dumb stuff. Let's just relax and enjoy life. Whereas Statler wants to stress herself out trying to become successful. She's constantly worried about stuff. She's worried about making money. She wants to make more money, whatever. So they have completely different personalities. Statler is very high strung, likes to stress out about a lot of stuff. Dempsey likes to relax and chill and, take time to smell the roses. So they talk about how, well, our personalities are so different. Are we actually going to work? Is this relationship going to work for us as different as we are? So then they come to the decision that they're going to work on their relationship for 2 months. They're going to try really, really hard to make it work for the next 2 months. And then after 2 months, they're going to see where they're at. And if it's not working, they're going to go their separate ways. Then we see a montage of their whole entire relationship from beginning up until now. And then when they showed the montage, with the sappy music playing in the background, I was like, yeah, they're headed for a breakup. For sure, they're headed for a breakup. Plus, we know, in real time, they did actually break up. Statler tells Dempsey that if we do have to break up, we're going to sell the van and go our separate ways. And Dempsey was like, yeah, I don't want to sell the van. I'm still traveling through Europe. You can do what you want to do, but I'm still trying to travel through Europe and I don't want to sell the van. And that's my review, y'all. Just a whole bunch of nothing. Meitalia is still crying. Shekinah and Sarper are still faking the funk. Dempsey and Statler have absolutely no business being together as a couple. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.